She thought she was checking my loyalty, but in the end she only exposed how far she could push her own humiliation. It all started on a Friday night, the kind that feels heavy like the air is waiting for a storm to break. She stood in the living room, fingers shaking around her phone, voice practiced but barely holding together. "We should take a break," she said. I remember the silence after that, so sharp the ticking clock felt louder than her pulse. I watched her face closely, the faint smirk tugging at her lip, the nervous flicker in her eyes. That wasn't heartbreak. That was theater. She believed she was cornering me. She just didn't know I'd already seen the trap long before she set it. We'd met 7 years earlier, under streetlights and half-grown dreams. She carried herself like someone who'd been wounded before, gentle, cautious, sincere. Or that's what I believed. I didn't just build her a house, I gave her stability, something solid to stand on. I was consistent, steady, the kind of man you plan a future with. Her friends hated that. They thrived on chaos, the type who say test him, see if he begs, the ones who mistake loyalty for weakness. I saw their influence creeping in long before she recognized it. But I kept quiet. People eventually reveal who they really are. All you have to do is wait. The first hint came through her friend Lena, literally in a reflection. I was walking past the hallway mirror one evening when I caught the image of her phone behind me. A group chat. A scheme. Just tell him you're done and watch if he begs. If he doesn't, he's got someone else. They laughed. She typed, "He won't see it coming." She was right, I wouldn't have seen it coming, if I hadn't already noticed everything. I didn't confront her that night. Instead, I smiled, kissed her forehead, told her I loved her because despite everything, I did. But love without respect is just a chain, and I don't wear chains. So I ran my own quiet experiment, precise, controlled. I moved a few things, changed her phone's backup settings, logged into the shared cloud, synced her call logs. I wasn't hunting for guilt, I wanted confirmation. What I found wasn't cheating. It was something more pathetic, immaturity dressed up as cruelty. Screenshots of them planning the breakup stunt. They called it a loyalty test. I called it my cue to leave. So when she said, "I think we need a break," I looked at her like she'd just admitted a secret. "You sure?" I asked. She paused. I saw that tiny spark of doubt. She expected resistance, crying, pleading, bargaining. Instead, I nodded. "Okay," I said, grabbing my keys. "Let's make it official." Her smirk vanished. "Official? Yeah. If we're testing each other, let's do it right. I'll pack tonight. You can keep the house." She blinked. "Wait, no, that's not what." But I was already walking away. She wanted a reaction. I gave her one she had no script for. That weekend, I filed for a temporary separation, clean, legal, fast. I moved half the savings into an account under only my name. I left the furniture, the comfort, the quiet behind. Her friends didn't see it coming either. Those screenshots where she bragged I'd be desperate. I forwarded them to her father, the same man who once joked, "She's your problem now." Looks like she returned to sender. A week later, she showed up at my office, mascara smeared, voice shaking. "It was just a joke," she sobbed. "They told me to." "They told you to play me," I said. "And you agreed." Her tears meant nothing. It's hard to feel sympathy when you've already watched the rehearsals. She reached for my hand. I pulled away. "I loved you enough to trust you," I said. "You loved me enough to test me." She choked on her breath. The silence that followed was thick earned, not given. Then I did something she never expected. I smiled. "You passed one test," I said. "You showed me exactly who you are." When she realized what I'd done, the legal separation, the forwarded messages, the financial cutoff, the color drained from her face. Her little game had cost her everything. She ran out of that office like it was burning. Maybe it was. Her friends turned on her soon after. Turns out they didn't like being dragged into family consequences. Screenshots destroy friendships faster than guilt ever does. Months later, she still sends short texts, "I miss us." I never respond. I've learned silence is the sharpest revenge. You can't embarrass a man who's already mastered the art of walking away quietly. They wanted to see if I'd fight for her. I did, just not the way they imagined. I fought for my peace. And I won. They tested my love. I tested their limits. Guess who didn't make the cut?